Hi guys, AgentCM1 here, and this is the fourth video in the C# basic syntax series. So this is the start of the program we wrote last time that just takes a user input of their name and assigns it to a string called name. And we're going to learn how to use if statements to deal with this. So we might say something like if name equals say like John. We will say to them hello, else just put something like your name is not John, or just something basic like that. And then afterwards, we want to obviously read this text off. So, if we enter John, it should say hello. Else, it should just say your name is not John. So let's try running this. So we're gonna put first one. I'm gonna put John, and it's run this code here because name was equal to John, and that's the variable we've created here. Notice also we use double equal signs in an if statement, not a single equal signs, which is for setting something to something else. So if we do that again, and we enter Bob, notice your name is not John. Now there's another way you can do this. So you can also use something called switch. So you can do switch name, and then we could say case John, and then you could say console. Sorry, that should be in brackets. So if we say case John, console.writeLine, hello, and then break, default, console.writeLine, your name is not John, break, and then console.readline. So this is the exact same code. So what switch is doing is it's getting this variable of name that we've created. If we find John, it's going to print hello. And notice we have to use a break statement here. In the switch case, you have to use break statements. Default is like else, so it's the same as saying if John, else. But when you're using switch, you use the keyword default, and it's going to print your name is not John. And again, notice we have to use this break statement. And then we're just going to use console.readline to read out our text and give it a chance to pause. So when we run this, it should do the exact same thing. So if we say John, it will say hello. So it will run this code here because the case was John. Else, if we don't enter John, if we enter Bob, it should run this default case and it will go to here and print your name is not John. And these if statements will work with numbers. So if we got an integer and did like int a equals 2, we could say if a equals 2, console.writeLine, a was 2, else console.writeLine, a was not 2. So if I just try running this, a was 2. And then if we change a to 3, a was not 2. Another thing we could do here is use a less than or greater than operator here. So we can say if a is greater than 2, a was greater than 2, else a was not greater than 2. When you run this, a is 3, so a is greater than 2, so it will use the code here. But if we set a to a 1, which is not greater than 2, we get a was not greater than 2. One last thing we could do before I end this video to clean this code up is after an if statement, if it's a single line after the word if. So if there's only, as you see here, sorry about that, as you see here, there's only one line this if statement is running. We can make this code a bit tidier by not using the curly braces. So we can just say if a is greater than 2, and then just press enter, and you notice it tabs in console.writeLine a was greater than 2. And the same will work with else. Console dot write line. A was not greater than 2. So this is the exact same code. And this will run the exact same, except we've made it slightly cleaner. Oh, still included them. So we can cut these out as well, because it's only a single line running after the else. However, you'll notice if we then try and do, say, console.readline in here, we should now get an error. You'll see if we do this, it gives us an error because we've included more than one line in the if statement. So just delete that, it should work fine. Now, one other thing we could do is use an else if statement. So if a is not greater than 2, else if a is 2, we could print a is equal to 2. And then if we set a to 2, a is equal to 2. So what it's done is it's checked this one first and says a is not greater than 2. Then it's checked this one and said a is 2, and it's run this code here. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this helped, and this was Agency 01.